Namanatuman, Napiaman, Ingin Kisakwat, Nashbi, Nichikwana'i Ta Hanawanash. Katapatamish Katantuat, Wichiwami, Nawamani Tonk, Natongsuwa, Ninash.
Sharente was born with his eyes wide open, face up, looking towards the heavens above. It was actually Danny's aunt, Sue Menahan, that delivered Sharente at the Westerly Hospital. And when she looked down and she saw this baby with his eyes wide open, babies come into this world face down. That's the way babies come, face down. And here this baby was, face up, looking right up at the heavens. We knew that this child was special. He was already holding counsel with his creator. And Sharente has always been that special child that is given the prayers. 4 years old, at ceremonies and gatherings, Sharente was oftentimes the voice that would step forward to offer prayers at family gatherings. And I'm just so amazed by his courage and his strength. I know that we have so many people in our communities that have come before Sharente that would have loved to have been in the circle dancing in a way that spoke to their heart and to their spirit. And because of the oppression that we've all faced as Indigenous people, they have not felt that they could. They haven't had that courage. And Sharente, walks this path, not just for Sharente, but for all of the young people and the elders that have had to live a hidden life. I only hope that through this, Creator, that you can guide us in a good way to remember the old ways, to remember our traditions. Namanatuman, we want to remember the ways of our people. We want to come back to a place where we honor and respect our two spirits, that we treat them as the sacred beings that they are, that we respect them as the medicine people, and that they bring great medicine into our circle, and that it's an honor to have our two spirits in the circle. Creator, please help our people to remember these ways, and all of our tribes here in the East. Creator, I thank you for this opportunity to come together, Narragansett and Mashantucket, sister tribes. And Namanatuman, I ask that you guide us to continue to walk forward in a good way and in balance with all creation. Ninash.
Tabatash, Kaltanduat. Thank you, Great Spirit that lives in the sky. Wichi Squawanat Ka Whiskey Dampa Anat Ka Nashai. Thank you for the spirit of women, man, and all that is born in between. the greatest purpose that exists within our lives comes from that area in between. And I thank you for blessing me to live in that place, whether or not the world that surrounds me is ready for it. I have cried many, many, many times, but I thank you for those tears, for they have brought me cleansing. And I thank you for putting me in this place where I am surrounded by those that love me and have given me Menakai, that great strength that exists within my heart to continue to fight even when I am in pain.
I did want to make time. I wanted to come down here and I wanted to just talk to my cousin and let you know that a lot of our community see what you're doing and we think that you're beautiful. Inside out, the courage that you have, we just want to come down and let you know that we have many, many people that's hurting right now because they know that you was hurt. And a lot of people have been reaching out, confused, hurt. And everybody that has been reaching out with love and support. And I just wanted you to know that you are special in a beautiful way. Keep being who you are. And in Mashantucket, you are welcome by our family. But I love you, little cousin.
Thank you.
I do look forward to meeting with you to set up more programs to educate our people on being two-spirited and where we stand in the community. And again, you have my support, and thank you for allowing me to be here.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, don't feel that is, there are many people that absolutely need education and stuff, but as was said before, the outpouring of love
Absolutely.
throughout all the communities, because there's hate and negativity within our community as well. There is, absolutely is.
And
Let's give some hugs around.
how old are
here.
you?
I'm 17. I turned
Oh my
17 in
God.
June.
Your strength throughout the whole situation, like, I envy it. And like I said, the difficult situations that you and I and other two-spirited individuals have to face, it makes us stronger. And, my past wasn't, good, but it definitely has made me stronger. And this situation, like I said, it gave me more courage, and more strength to stand up and really want to educate our people, mine and your people, Mashantucket and Narragansett. And I would love for you to be by my side 100% of the way.
Me as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Being a teenager definitely isn't easy, but I mean, I'm happy for these days that I have being a teenager still. I mean, our struggles make us stronger, and I know in the future I'm going to be begging and wishing that I was 15 years old still. Really, these things that we categorize as masculine and feminine are all based upon, like, cultural and societal differences. I mean, in areas of the world where one thing is masculine, there are other places where it's seen as feminine. And so these things that we use as a basis to define femininity or masculinity and what men should be like or what women should be like are all subjective. And so really, I mean, this mental gender of what is male or what is boy is not real outside of societal standards. But, I mean, I don't want to have reconstructive surgery and take hormones for the rest of my life. And I'm happy in the body that I'm in. I just want to live my life doing things that I like to do. And I don't want to be restricted by society's norms.
You are officially welcome to the Narragansett ceremony and powwow. Last call. Teen girls 13 to 17. Fancy shawl dance and jingle dress dances. Line up, ladies. Beautiful dancing, young ladies. All right, where's my staff people? Non-Indians, they say we are here 10,000 years. Some of the studies and some of the oral traditions of our people, our ancestors trekked these lands for over 40,000 years. 40,000 years our people have been in this area. We did not, from our history and from our oral traditions, we did not come across the Barren Strait. And science is just validating the history and the science that we know. Our sciences did not necessarily was centered around mathematics as the Europeans were. Our science was set around the celestial, which is math in its own sense. It's set around all the things that we live with in harmony. and understanding the 4 seasons, and understanding the things that is required for us to keep that 7 generations alive. With an open mind as to how we interface with this mainstream society, again, without compromising who we are. That is a tremendous battle. It is a tremendous responsibility. In my mind, it is one of our key traditional positions. It's the balance between our old ways and our modern contemporary ways. And we must do both to exist today in this world. Let's have it intertribal. All right, Teen Women Traditional, number 77, 3rd place. Katie Balbuna.
She already knew. How she already knew? She was already running.
2nd place, number 72, Sequoia Burrell. Teen Shaw. 3rd place, number 20. Jordan Eagle Star. 2nd place, number 80, Zipsis Paul. In 1st place, number 83, Shalia Hazard. Adult Fancy Shaw. 3rd place, number 24, Sharente Harris. Second place, number 61, Sassaman Whedon. In 1st place with our champion, Shayna Hendricks. Belt Jingle, 3rd place, number 64.
Someone was like totally against you dancing, and like I was like,
Wait, who'd you hear it from?
I don't know, some 2 ladies, and she was like talking about 2 spirited people, and automatically like you're the only one like, and she's obviously from here. And
I knew that something was happening because the only reason why I got 3rd place is because they had to give me 3rd place, or else it would be visible that they were messing with my scores.
Where's Darius? He said Darius is working.
Singers, your drum contest is coming up. Silver Cloud, you will start us off. All specialty songs.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm
Maybe
just gonna
that's
jump on top of the table.
Sebastian, are you making it again?
No.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is an official welcome to the third trimester. You are on that final stretch of your sophomore year. Time is flying so quickly. We have a jam-packed day today with workshops and an exhibition. So Carly Pitts, the senior, will be coming in to host a workshop. That workshop is part of her STP work. It's a two-part workshop from the training that she did at Brown University. If you want to sit in the front, you can sit here, or there's a seat here, there's a seat there.
Yeah, I'll just sit in the front this way.
We'll just move this forward. What's the plan?
She's at Gallagher Building, so I'll do it after the exhibition.
So usually you kind of associate the words naughty with things in a sexual manner, but someone decided to put it with children. Also here we have a baby doll, which is kind of controversial because there's definitely two sides. You can see that in one hand it comes with this pad that goes over the child's chest and it makes a sucking noise, and it's a doll breastfeeding. We don't know what they wear, so I thought that was a little suggestive as well. But I mean, the basic overall gist was that a young woman has to go through all this just to be in a pageant to win and look pretty.
This fake tans and the extensions in your hair and the fake teeth, it's replacing everything, and it's blatantly obvious. And when these girls don't win these pageants, they're crying and they're upset, and the only source to point to for why they lost is they didn't create good enough of an image.
Weren't pretty enough. So from a personal perspective, I know exactly how the media can have an effect on you. When I was a freshman, I wore a full face of makeup every day. I thought I had to be perfect because I was in a school where a lot of the girls were thin and white and slim and blonde hair and blue eyes. So I felt like I had to compete with that. So I had fake contacts. I had blue contacts and green contacts because I was like, my eyes are too dark, that's not good enough. Oh, my skin's too dark, let me wear makeup that makes me look like I'm a shade lighter. Let me wear a weave in my hair or extensions. And so I know a lot of girls who feel like, oh, well, I saw Beyonce shaking her butt on TV and she was in bodysuits. Let me wear a bodysuit that shows my butt cheeks. You know, it's real. It's, you know, scientists or research can say whatever they want, but it's actual evidence that I've seen within my friend groups of trying to keep up with what you see in TV, what you see in the media. 28.5% of characters in family shows are shown in sexy attire. How many thought that was true? How many thought that was false?
I'm two-spirited, and more than just being a member of the LGBT community that's indigenous, I truly identify with both the spirit of a man and a woman. And the most controversial act I have ever committed in my life is being true to myself. Working that path, figuring out who I am and how to find acceptance with myself and within my community has been one of my greatest struggles. And I hope to be able to be a beacon of light for those that today are in a dark place filled with uncertainty and pain. And so when I came out as being two-spirited, there was a lot of fear that surrounded it, not because I was afraid of coming out to my own family, where I knew that they were accepting and loving. I was fearful about how my outside, further extended tribal community family would view me for being two-spirit.
It is absolutely critical and paramount that we work to remember the old ways because they're inside all of us. And when we look to some of our other tribal communities in North America that have not been faced with the oppression that we here on the East were the first to face. So us here in New England, these tribal communities, we were the very first to be colonized and the very first to face the oppression of the colonists, to have our languages taken away from us, for us to be removed from our families, sent into indentured servitude, sent into slavery. So this happens to us 400 years ago or more, whereas we have other tribes here in North America that have only been facing that oppression for less than half of that amount of time. And so it's easier for them to remember their old ways because they have elders who have heard it right from their grandparents. The traditions have not stopped. They didn't have as much of a gap in time that we had. So, you know, when I think of like the Lakota Sioux people, they very much to this day remember how sacred the two spirits are. And it doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are, that's something that's normalized within their communities and within their culture. But that's because the colonization and the oppression that they certainly faced also in just a horrific way, it's happened for such a short amount of time in comparison to how long us here in New England have been facing it. And so in a lot of ways, it shows how strong we are, that here we are today, all these years later, still continuing as tribal people and still continuing to be who we are. But it is all the more important that we work collectively to remember those old ways so that our children can continue in the traditional ways of our people.
I think the allies for the Two-Spirit community, the LGBTQ community, I think we have a real important job. And I see that here tonight. And if we can't just be supportive, we have to open our mouths. It is the voice that is needed to be heard. And we can't just put our young people and our older people, they can't be on the front line. We need to be on the front line. And they'll know that we're supporting them. They don't put them up to be fired upon by, hatred and discrimination, etc. So we really need to be on that front line. And I'm so glad to see your community working in that way.
And so now, at this point in my life, there are still many challenges that I still have to face in the dancing arena and out, being a two-spirited person within a world that does not always see the spectrum that exists within all of creation. And so I have nothing but gratitude for all of you being here to show your love and support Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Theo, for coming and doing that beautiful ceremony. I was touched when the Pequot Tribal Council, you came and to my house and had a ceremony to really heal and work to find a place of brotherhood and friendship that unites us as a people, because that's where our strength lies. Vern was just asking
for
at
his
the thing.
birthday. It's his birthday.
Happy birthday. Menakai is coming and
Don't be a
Duncan is
stinker.
You know you're my godchild too, huh? Mwah.
You got the rough.
Pulling it all the way through.
You guys sit.
She's running down.
Okay, are we ready?
Okay.
Come, we're gonna
sing
start.
now.
Come, are you gonna sit down with us?
I think mine. Oh my gosh, there's so many dogs. Lily.
It's okay.
The puppies
All
are.
right, well, how are we singing in Narragansett?
We'll do English first and then we'll do Narragansett. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Papa. Happy birthday to you. Waniki naki sak akin. Waniki naki sak akin. Waniki naki sak akin. Waniki naki sak akin.
It was a Narragansett poem, by the way.
Katavatosh, everyone. A special thank you to my sister-in-law and all her children for bringing the cake, because we didn't have a cake without you, and yes, I am sharing. Thank you so very much. So let's cut this up and have some pieces.
I don't want any cake.
And we have ice cream too.
Nipaush, you want ice cream? No, you want cake? No?
It's a piece of cake to bake, a pretty cake.
Well, here, this one.
She wants a cherry, honey.
Oh.
But I read it, and I read it well, and she was like, oh, wow. You can see that this was a language made to be spoken in performance in a very theatrical,
Who said that?
This linguist, like the speaking, he said it's very prone to poetry. You can see the open vowel where they have these strings of whatever,
That's
like that.
it's a
It's a language that's made for song or poetry to be able to flow in that kind of way.
Do you think there's any validity to that, Comas?
Oh, we got a lot of oohs and a lot of
Ooh, wow.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, I want to sing, man.
Menakai, practice.
Woo!
My grandmother began ceremony before I could discern any motions she had made. It began with the subtlety of a sunrise and ended in the same way that the sun sets. For the sun never truly stops setting. Even within the depths of night, we still know the warmth and light is there, both far away and deep within ourselves. What my grandmother was doing was calling that light, calling all creation, with the ease of awakening one's arm and calling it to motion. It took little thought, but was instead guided by a tradition of gratitude for one's being, one's world, and the gift it is for us to be interconnected within the great spectrum. All observable creation comes from the same celestial birthplace and therefore is unified. As people, we must acknowledge this to achieve a greater understanding of not only our world, but ourselves and our relatives across Mother Earth. It's amazing, Sharente. Amherst has been submitted. Brown has been submitted. Colby has been submitted. Emerson's been submitted. Harvard has been submitted. Princeton has been submitted. I don't care about those. Stanford has been submitted. URI has been submitted. Sign it.
I broke multiple nails today. Ready?
One.
This is the moment.
2, 3. And it's submitted! Application session. Congratulations. You have successfully submitted your common application for first-year students to Williams. Vassar. You've asked that. In order to begin the submission, you must complete the form. Our people tell the stories of thunder beings. They are spirits of lightning, rain, and thunder that come from the west. My mother always told a particular story of how a thunder being was born on earth through the love she shared with one of the spirits that danced in the clouds. The child returned to the people of the sky when his grandmother whipped him for misbehaving. My mother connects the story to my birth, as I was born during a storm so strong that the electricity went out in the hospital 3 times. I have a birthmark on the back of my head, out of which grows blonde hair. They say that it was there that the thunder beings marked me with their bolts of lightning.
Bolts of light.
Say it one more time.
We reached the place where my relatives still roamed in a parallel space. Time tried to grow stagnant, yet the songs of my ancestors pushed it forward on the wind. Arrows of light were drawn from Quetzalcoatl's quiver and leaped from his bow, piercing the landscape with fragmented color. The bodies of the trees were bare. Their branches reached outward, a network of veins, casting shadows upon the snow. There we sat, surrounded by marshes and swamps on a circular isle, guarded by Mitaquanet, the spirit of the trees. My body was drenched in cold. The numbness called my body to rest, like the creation that surrounded me. My shivering fingers told me to grasp my grandmother's hand. I cupped it, gathering her warmth, and she accepted my cold to provide her child healing.
My grandmother's boyfriend, Melvin, was brutally murdered in a hate crime. He had gone out drinking for St. Patrick's Day, gone to the bar. while he was there, he was taken with some man who had given him a ride home. He was chained up to the end of a truck and was dragged through the woods, where he presumably died from that. His body was found under the rubble of a bunch of broken pieces of bathtub and just trash. The murderer was never found guilty. Racism is still definitely alive in Rhode Island today. There's no doubt about that. So many people think that we are in a post-racial era, and it simply is not true. My Uncle Bam was murdered. No justice was found. My great uncle Tarzan Brown was murdered, and justice was not served. Indigenous people are silent to the rest of our country and the world. But we're yelling.
Both of my parents have had immediate family members taken from them by citizens of Rhode Island. Hate crimes. And to this day, my parents must walk defiantly in a world that wants to take them too. A world that wants to take their children. A world that wants to take the words out of their little mouths when they open to say, "We are Narragansett." For our children remember the old ways. We remember the heavy paths our mothers walked through stained soils, the violent afterbirth of Ruakiane, our Mother Earth. We remember our mothers big and small, Kakumasak, our grandmothers, Kishwasak, our little mothers, our aunties, our Nashawi women, our between women, our two-spirit women, Wami Makamwasas, all women. I sing this memorial song to remember the spirits of our ancestors that have fought this battle before us, and the missing and murdered that have been taken too soon.
Parrot. I is for inch. J is for jellyfish.
We're so happy to be here and gathered for this beautiful family and for the 20 years of marriage and to renew their vows. Kautantuat, Namanatuman, Napiauman, Ingin Kisquat, Nashbi, Katabatatam, Ta Tawanash, Katapatamish, Kautantuat, Uchi, Natanswat, Ninach.
By living each day as if they would die being apart for too long, they have created a path for their family that leads to partnership, joy, and continuation. Few can truly say they married their best friend, one whom they found a piece of themselves within. To care for 7 children is to have a real love. My lip trembles and eyes water, knowing my parents have found the greatest gift of all, to bring them solace in times of pain and heighten the joys of life. Love. Kawamananamu.
Katabatash, Katanduat, Katabatash, Nashbinu Amanitang, Katabatash, Katanduat, Kamaguanash, Kanupiam Kisak, Kisak, Katabatash, Katanduat, Katabatash.
Thank you, Lindsay. Her song, Lindsay's song speaks of welcoming the day and giving thanks to the Creator for the beauty of the day.
Eleanor, I am asking you to continue on this fairy tale story with me. If you do, I will continue to let you sleep in. I will continue to binge watch TV series with you into the late hours of the night. Eleanor, I will continue to love and cherish you. I will continue to honor you and all your gifts. I will continue to wake up next to my best friend and the most beautiful woman in the entire universe. I will continue to be the luckiest man ever.
She'll go.
Yeah, I'm actually disappointed.
She
But
goes.
sounded like she
When
was
her mom did that,
You're scaring the cat.
scared me.
Lady Elaine loves me. I'm her favorite.
Tuesday was me.
Actually, I'm her favorite.
Stop lying. Tilly goes in your bed
Grandma?
because she's up. Lady Elaine's in the side.
Oh, Mission
Yeah,
Awkward.
they're already is it,
No. Raw. Are we getting the acceptances, honey?
We got a lot of good because of that.
Alright,
Come on, Sharday, have a seat.
Mama, did you say?
Penn, Princeton.
Do you want to look at us or the
That's
TV?
Dartmouth, that's Penn, Yale, Harvard, Princeton, Brown. Oh, Cornell.
Papa,
Cornell's
don't
over
look at
here.
the screen or you'll get a concussion.
Okay. So tonight is the big night. Sharente applied to 7 of the 8 Ivies. He left Columbia out because he has no desire in living in New York City. His number one that he would love to attend is Brown University. So everybody at home, keep your fingers crossed. It'll be the last one we open.
Oh my God.
Your application decision is now available online. And we regret to inform you that we were unable to offer you admission to Cornell. So now we will try Dartmouth. After thoughtful consideration of your candidacy,
Not a surprise.
the admission committee has denied your application to join Dartmouth's class of 2022. We'll do Penn next. Dear Sharente,
We got in.
on behalf of President Amy Gutman freshmen and the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania, I am delighted to inform you of your admission to Penn's 266th class. You have been selected for study in the College of Arts and Sciences. Your application reflected your extraordinary potential, and you are now poised to magnify the potential at Penn. Our eminent faculty, who are deeply committed to undergraduate education, stand ready to guide you. Here we go, Princeton. Dear Sharente, I'm writing to let you know that we have placed your name on the wait list for Princeton's class of 2022. That's still impressive.
They received more than 35,000 applications.
Awesome move. That's great, Sharente. Okay, now we're moving on.
That's great,
We're going to do Yale, then
You
Harvard.
already got.
Harvard.
Okay, you need to slow down a second so I can process what's going on. Because we are just jumping right around.
We are now on Harvard's page. We have 2 left. We're
We just
building
had a
up to
little technical
Brown.
difficulty.
Brown is the number
Okay,
one
stop,
choice.
wait.
So here we are at Harvard. View update.
Okay.
I'm sorry to inform you that we cannot offer you admission to the class of 2022. Sharente didn't even like touring Brown. Okay.
I mean Harvard. Wait.
I said the wrong thing.
We were two Lego blocks, even though Harvard
God.
University
We're
graduating
already
class
cutting,
of
so-
2010 could have put back together again.
Nice sweet one.
Give me a hug.
Click it.
Wait.
All hands on, all hands like a Ouija board.
Come on, click it.
Oh.
We're coming together.
View update.
Oh my God.
Dear Sharente, congratulations! I am delighted to inform you that the Board of Admission has voted to admit you to Brown University's class of 2022. The board has carefully reviewed more than 35,000 applications and has selected those individuals who, as members of the class of 2022, will bring to Brown an extraordinary array of talents and interests. It goes on and on and on. On behalf of the entire Brown community, please accept my congratulations on your admission. I look forward to welcoming you to Brown. Yours sincerely. Congratulations!
Wait, don't.
You want to say something to people?
We can just slice it.
I can't believe I did it. I did it. I did it.
We knew you would.
Thank you so much.
Kwamana. You told Brown in your essay, the question is, why would you not choose me?
Yes, a Narragansett needs to be represented at Brown University.
What was the 3 questions? The element, the science. Move on to something else. But you know what? This is part of the finale. In order for you to share all the things that you have, you need to share something that you did.
That's my mom.
Was there anything else you learned with that? Was there any math?
It's called here.
ADHD,
What else is here?
attention deficit hyperactive disorder.
That's a whole nother word.
But really, indigenous art is utilitarian. Utilitarian meaning that it's tools that we would actually use, that we would spend a lot of time on so that it would last and look beautiful. And so all of this really, most everything, can be considered indigenous artwork. So there would be different rocks positioned where a message could be sent from one rock to another. The way it works is you basically stand atop it and you rock back and forth in a particular way because it's positioned so that it will only click if you do it just the right way so it doesn't roll over. The idea was to kill the Indian and save the man. So there were actually boarding schools created where indigenous children would be stripped from their families and sent to far away to schools where they would have their hair cut, they couldn't speak their language, They were indoctrinated into Christianity, and they were verbally, emotionally, physically, sexually abused. And the last of these schools was closed in 1970.
Was it Carlisle? One was Carlisle.
Yes, one of them is Carlisle, but there were many across America and Canada. And it shocks me that the last was closed in 1970, and many people don't even know about their existence. I'm glad that you know a little bit of that history. Because it definitely has impacted our people today in trying to revitalize aspects of lost culture. Words like powwow, words like Quanakantog, different locations, and people don't even know that they're Narragansett words. Even words like moose and skunk are Narragansett words that were adopted by the colonists for these new creatures that they didn't know. Even some words were shortened, like squash comes from the word squash, and moccasins come from the word moccasinash. You hear them say all the men, and then all of the men will go into the circle.
Fear not, my lady, I shall avenge thee. Ye will not have eaten all that wood chip cereal in vain. I shall bring you thy trophy from my quest. I shall be the king, and you shall be the queen who drinks from the golden... So we're gonna get that prize.
Because you're crushing on my mom again?
No.
You've been declanked! Ooh. If I'm gonna be on camera, make sure you get my good side. Oh. And action. We can't eat those until the table's set. Or the breaker mates will get ya! Also, could you get me a drink, please? Music!
Wait a minute. Sanjay?
Megan, you did.
Those are strange last words.
Kerplunk is our new prank show. And right now, you're starring in it.
Starring? How do I see? Yeah, and oh, you want to read? Wait, where's your book? Where's I Stink?
You're right, it probably isn't safe. I think I need to put you down.
Why don't you hear it? I Stink. On the book. You do it now. I'll bring it in bed. I want a little mouth. I don't have a little mouth. I'm a perfect mouth. I'm a medium mouth. Look at me. You're beautiful. And your cup on your pink moccasins, like. Are you doing your makeup yet? No, kidda. Pamia's.
She should need your outfit, and y'all should need to sit down.
You have what the pink moccasins. Look how bad that. This is coming out to be a horrible day.
If I do not look enough like the transgender woman that the world perceives me to have to be, I'll be denied the right to be able to dance in this way, and constant fear that people won't accept me, and so I always need to do this full face of makeup, even when I don't want to, out of fear, to ensure that I look like that figure that they need me to be.
Come line up, ladies. Let's have a round of applause for our Teen Women Fancy Shawl. Out there looking good, kicking it up.
Teen boys, Eastern War, make your way into the arena. Teen boys, Eastern War. All right, we invite the judges, please. Chad Benedict.
Gonna face this kind of stuff. It's only gonna strengthen you over time, you know? You gotta just take it and move on. Don't let anyone get you down. You gotta be who you are. Between you and the Creator, what you are, be who you are, Shrente. We love you.
You're crying? The committee let us register and then went around just like last year and told the judges not to judge Sharente. We're so upset.
And no one's even from them has even come and told me.
Yeah, instead of saying, no, you are not going to be allowed to compete, they registered.
It's the secrecy of, because they know that if this was something that was just out there, so many people that would be upset about it, that they have to keep it like this secret thing and not even let me know what's going, like.
I mean, when you should.
That's why I'm asking.
Right.
Somebody
Yeah.
said something.
Someone came up to me and said, you know, that they told her not to judge.
I wasn't gonna cry until I talked with Mama. Over in that chair. And then everything just started coming out.
Yeah, well, you should cry.
But now it's like, I want to hold it in.
Well, shall we walk over to the car and clean up?
At this point, I don't care. I'll let them see I cried.
Yeah. Well, nothing wrong with that.
Daniel Pucci, Jacob Pucci, Joseph Pucci, Peter Pucci.
I just wish I didn't look as much of a mess.
You still look beautiful, don't you worry.
I'd be fine if I didn't place at this powwow. It's that there's all this stuff.
Just leave the flag down and wait for a veteran to get
And I just can't be treated normal.
Veterans will help you.
Well, they need it longer now.
We thank you for your participation. But this is what this gathering is all about. It's about honoring, it's about showing respect, it's about family. Sure enough, there was a piece of firewood, a piece of cedar. And I said, what do you do with that? He says, I don't know, I'll probably burn it. I said, can I have it? He said, sure. So out of that piece of wood, I ended up making a flute.
You need somebody to kick some ass, you come to me. You understand me? I'm being for real with you.
All right,
I have friends. I have friends that are transgender. Some of my best friends are like that. You don't let anybody discourage you. You have your family. You have my family support. I'm telling you that. My Merrick family. We want to tell you, you keep dancing. Let them discourage you. You go out there and you dance. You dance proud for your mom, your dad, your siblings, and for yourself. For yourself, most importantly. You are most important, and you have to take care of yourself. I went up there and I said something because that didn't sit right with me. I just want you to know that. Yeah, it's okay, you're different. People that are different, they stand out.
grab a couple of pizzas. All right, looks like we're good to go. Southern Express, Southern June, give them a good one. And we have some pizza, the powwow committee has graciously bought us pizza for our lunch break. So we're not having a break, we're going to sing right through our contest. So elders, please come first to grab pizza. No, we're going to have a second song here in just a moment. Come on over here. Norman Diaz, Dean Stanton, Cody Coe, and Nevin Peck. We need to see you gentlemen, please.
People just started coming.
They knew and they were like, we want to support this.
Oh my God.
And everyone there, you could tell they really cared.
Even my fellow dancers.
I know. It was so beautiful. This is how I felt when I was watching How Would You, or What Would You Do? And I was crying under my sheets. This was What Would You Do?
I'll go towards 95.
Straight. We'll go straight right here. This was the one that I ran.
No, what was the other?
No, it was this one. I remember because I was right. It was, yes, this was the one.
Whoops, sorry for sitting at the front seat.
She could have gotten some good angles. Oh my God. Where am I supposed to be?
Oh my God, Sharonda.
This was it? Oh my.
You could have turned around. If you miss an exit, you can turn around. It's not do or die. You can. Okay, I'm gonna.
First look, I guess you used to my saw you look me up in your heart shaped down.
What music are you choosing? Next song. This is a good song. I'm afraid to see my true self in the documentary. I was actually saying today, my grandchildren are going to see this documentary, possibly. What are they going to think of me? I hope they're proud.
Money my topic. What's happening?
Hanatuman, Napiauman, Ingi Kiswa, Nashbi, Nachikwanayi Ta Hanonash, Tamish Kitantuat, Uchi Nitpawu.
I want to thank you for the ability to dance in a way that speaks to my heart, regardless of whatever struggles it may bring about. And more importantly, uniting a family of love and support behind me, no matter what I do. And I think without my family, I wouldn't have had all of this healing. So I thank you for that, moving into this gift.
Kapachashna Benatuman, what she wame, what she tiashananion, ka tampo. I give thanks today for the beautiful sunrise that I feel on my neck, for the beautiful ocean, the spirit of Pompagusset, for the enlargement of our circle. What a beautiful day, and to see our circle grow so much, for continuing traditions, for family and friends. I am very thankful this day.
Waters, they are back bathing.
Third place, number 24, Sharente Harris.
I'm two-spirited. I truly identify with both the spirit of a man and a woman. When I came out as being two-spirited, there was a lot of fear, not because I was afraid of coming out to my own family. I was fearful about how my outside, further extended tribal community family would view me.
The committee let us register and then went around, just like last year, and told the judges not to judge Sharente.
It is absolutely critical and paramount that we work to remember the old ways, because they're inside all of us.
We are Narragansett. For our children, remember the old ways.
You are Sharente.
The most controversial act I have ever committed in my life is being true to myself.
To me, what tradition is what a group or a culture does repeatedly to where it's actually their beliefs or their behavior up on that reservation. Communicating with your language was a tradition. I really want my culture. I want to know my language again. I consider myself to be a Pine Point product.
P-Town, born and raised.
We'll take a quick ride through the projects.
It's NGD, Native Gangster Disciple. Whatever the top dude tells you to do. Go kill somebody, go rob somebody. Yeah. I've been here since I was 9 years old. Hey.
Up so I can reach.
Bring you in the sky.
Yeah.
I went to prison 4 times. Just trying to be more careful and cautious this time.
Come around to catch candy or what? I wanted to be the biggest drug cartel there ever was.
You're definitely on your way.
I don't know, man. Kind of has me thinking twice right now.
When I come to jail, all the drugs get out of my system and everything starts to be real clear on where I'm at. I want this cycle to end.
I used to feel like I wasn't truly indigenous. Now I say me which, get your money due for showing me my true roots. Definitely native. Take responsibility for being educated. My tears shedding the sweat, large prayers go out to all those I've wronged and who have wronged me. Gotta treat them like family. Get your money due, we do kawishin. Jimushka wisiyan, mi Dutch permit. Anishinaabe is your twawin. Me jit big, it came to my kaya. Anishinaabe, be my dizzy win.
This is Jacob. It is July 3rd, and I am 1 day on testosterone.
I thought it was interesting that I'm starting to have dreams where I am either male or transgendered in my dreams. My body is beginning to recognize itself in its subconscious.
This is Jacob. Today is August 2nd, and I am 1 month on testosterone.
Yeah, I think we had a difficult relationship, but I don't know how to describe it.
I'm so familiar with my own body that it's going to be odd to see something different. And I know I'm going to be critical.
Well, there's consequences for not doing something that your heart is set upon, that you feel is so essential for your life.
Today is January 14th, and I am 28 weeks on testosterone.
It is, I'm amazed at how much I am just used to you being a guy. You're my son, I have 3 sons.
She does not want to carry a child, so if anybody's going to do it, it would be me.
Oh, that's complicated. I could come up with 2 or 3 things that I might think have been critical things about what we did wrong in raising him. But the implication is then that something's wrong. There's nothing wrong with Jake.
From the inside, I'm still the same person, and I still have the same feelings and the same qualities that I did before I was a man.
What do you need to do to live better? What do you want to do?
This is Jacob. Today is April 1st, and I'm 39 weeks on testosterone.
Wrestling is like a religion in Mexico. Every Sunday after we go to Mass, we went to Lucha Libre. So I loved it. And then, of course, me being gay, I loved the men. I was so intrigued with them, with their licras and their masks and their bodies. I was like, ooh, la la.
A lot of people see me as an exotico leader, as an exotico goddess. That's why I'm called the Liberace of Lucha Libre. But I've been through a lot. I've been beat up. I've been hurt. A lot of doors shut on my face because I was labeled like gay, exotico.
As we say in French, merde. It means break your leg.
No, we don't say break a leg.
No?
Lucha Libre. Say good luck.
All I said to the guys, like, take me in the dressing room. I can't walk no more.
It's just a bad moment, but you've gone through many worse ones and you're gonna be okay again.
My teacher always tell me, look, Saul, I don't know when the hell you're gonna learn. That you're already done. My body tells me it's time, but my ego tells me I can still go.
I don't know where to start, so I guess. So I'm Sharente, I'm 17, and I'm two-spirited. So being two-spirited has really defined a lot of what I have been working towards, especially over the past couple years. But it took me a long time to come to terms with that identity, which the identity is really just a fancy way of saying that I'm being myself and being true to who I am and what I like and what I want to do with my life. So traditionally, two-spirited people were people that identified as both a man and a woman within indigenous culture. So it was believed that they held both the spirit of a man and a woman and were therefore honored for being able to connect with both the masculine and feminine within the universe. And as time has gone on, that history has kind of been forgotten, and many indigenous peoples no longer view two-spirited people in the same way. But the actual word two-spirit is a fairly modern word to kind of encompass the ideas that indigenous people traditionally had towards those that exist within the LGBT community. And so it's now kind of used as an umbrella term to describe anyone that is LGBT and indigenous, but I feel as though I kind of fit within the purest definition of that word, in that I identify as both a man and a woman, and I feel like that oftentimes pulls me in these two different worlds. And so oftentimes, I think I would rarely do something like this where I'm wearing something masculine, but I'm also wearing lipstick. And I think that's in a large part due to the pressures of our society. And that's normal. Everyone feels pressures from society on how they should behave. I think it's simply that I cannot help that I fall outside of those standards and won't be living a happy life if, at least to the extent of being able to identify in the way that I do, publicly. So fancy shawl dance, when that came around, was really an outlet. And I call it a dance of liberation, as it was a dance of liberation for women in during the women's rights movement. Indigenous women that wanted to break tradition and dance in a faster, fancier style, and really work to evolve our culture and tradition, even though during the time it seemed very radical, defying, and outwardly defying these traditions. So I feel in the same respect, it's a dance of liberation for myself as well, and there are many LGBT voices that are not heard within Indigenous communities, and the structure of our powwow circuit today has worked to alienate a lot of people within the LGBT community. And therefore, I think one of the vital reasons why I continue to dance in this way is not just for myself, but for those that are voiceless. And I've heard many stories of people that had gone before me, and because they were alive during a time in which it was not acceptable for them to be who they were, they unfortunately weren't able to continue in the way that I have in dancing in a style that speaks to their spirit. And I've also heard stories of people that have been inspired by what I'm doing, and young people a young girl that is going to be making a grass dance regalia, which is traditionally a men's dance. And so, if anything, I hope to provide a platform for people to see that we are here and we will continue. What I really think I have taken from this is the power of dance. And in my family, we, as many other Indigenous families, have had instilled within their children. In our family, me and my siblings have been always told that you dance for prayer and thanksgiving. And so today in the modern powwow circuit, there's competition dance, and that can easily overwhelm a lot of the original intent and purpose of our dance. And so through my dance, there's a great power. And I have always danced for Thanksgiving and honoring those that no longer can dance, those that danced long before us, and those that will dance in the future. Honoring my ancestors and honoring Kautantuit, the Great Spirit, for giving us this opportunity to dance and to live and to feel joy and happiness. So, over the past year, I really put a lot of that competition to the wayside. My goal is to be treated equally like every other dancer would. To be treated like everyone else and to not be alienated within my communities. And so far, that has been working tremendously. I went from not being able to compete with other dancers to then having rumors going around, a lot of secrets being kept from me, powwows telling judges not to judge me, to then other people from my tribal community going to other tribal communities and telling them that I should not be allowed to dance. And so it was a very painful journey, but also a liberating one, because as time has gone on, things have changed from me not being allowed to dance to actually placing. And I went from placing 4th to 3rd to 2nd and then 1st. And then I was asked to be a head person dancer at Dartmouth Powwow. And I think that was a big message for a lot of people, because the head person dancer, being a head dancer is a great honor. So when a head man dancer and a head woman dancer are appointed to a powwow, those are usually people that are being honored, that are good people within the tribal community, that are great dancers, and they usually lead the dancing. So the idea is that no one is to enter the circle before these dancers. So none of the men enter the circle during intertribal dance before the head man dancer enters the arena, and none of the women enter the circle before the head woman dancer enters the arena. So by having a head person dancer, we're inviting the LGBT community into the circle, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman or somewhere in between, whether you live your life doing masculine and feminine things. You are welcomed into the circle to dance in the way that your spirit guides you, because honestly, who does it hurt to give thanksgiving in the way that speaks to your spirit? We all give our own prayer and ceremony, and so if I am not doing that in a way that speaks to the message that I want to give, if I'm not able to give thanks for the things that I'm truly thankful for, and instead I need to hide them, am I really giving thanksgiving at all? And so when we don't acknowledge people within our communities, or we push them away and alienate them, which has happened in our past. My grandmother tells stories of LGBT people that were kicked out of the arena, that were not allowed to dance once they found out that she was a woman. So times are continually changing, and culture needs to adapt into our modern world, or else it will cease to exist. All culture evolves, and so we can maintain our traditions while still being accepting of one another.
My husband and I were really young when we got married the first time. We got married in July 25th, 1997, and that was 1 month after we graduated from high school. We were both 18 years old. My husband and I, we are related 2 different ways, going back through our family trees. As is the case with most all Narragansett people. There are 3,000 Narragansetts approximately that are alive in this world, and all of us go back at some point in time to a common ancestor. So my husband and I, through my maternal grandmother, we go back through the Spears line to the same common ancestor, and then through my maternal grandfather's line, we go back to the same common ancestor. Her name is Anstrasnoka, and there's actually many, many Narragansett people that go back to Anstrasnoka. So at our wedding, there was a lot of joking about, we're all family here anyways, and there's so many like stories about my grandparents and Thorn's grandparents like living together and raising families together and being such close friends. And so the wedding was really wonderful. It was really like a family reunion. And shortly after the wedding, I said to my husband, I want to do it again. And so he agreed that every 10 years we would renew our vows. Our first wedding was very like traditional American wedding. everything about it was like what you think of as like the American wedding. This time around, I think being more mature, we realized how important it was to bring into our marriage those ceremonies and traditions that have been part of our community for time immemorial. And so then as part of the traditional ceremony, there is this blanket ceremony that happens where the couple is gifted with a wedding blanket and they are wrapped together to symbolize that they are now one, as opposed to two separate people. They're now one and they're coming together as a family. And so my mother did gift us with the blanket for the ceremony, and we then had the traditional blanket ceremony. Additionally, we really wanted our children to be a large part of the ceremony. And so we had the ceremonial fires, and we had 3 fires, one to represent the past, one to represent the present, and one to represent the future. Within our tribal community, that is actually very common in many of our ceremonies, that we have 3 fires representing the past, the present, and the future. Many of our oldest traditional gatherings that we have and traditional ceremonies that we have the 3 fires. And it really made sense for us with thinking of our relationship and this idea that we've been connected since before we were even born. We were connected through being Narragansett and through our families. And so this connection that goes back, you know, before Fawn and Eleanor are even conceived as a couple, that really represents our past and where we've come from. And so much of what bonds us and keeps us strong, this culture and this tradition and these blood memories that we carry. To the present, that here today, we have been married for 20 years, truly are best friends, and we have this beautiful family, these 7 children that we're raising. We're a people that's so small, only 3,000 of us. It's important that we continue. And also that, you know, relationships and marriage are easier when you come from common backgrounds, especially cultural and religious values and views. Now, on the same token, my mother also 100% accepted that love comes in all forms because she experienced it herself. So certainly if my sister and I had come home with different husbands, she would have 100% accepted and supported that. But she encouraged us to try to find love within our own community first if we could. And then back to the fires, we then also had the fire for the future, and that's really important. You know, when you think of indigenous culture, we oftentimes represent and talk about those next 7 generations yet to come. And so recognizing that this, who we are now, this is not the end all. Like, anything we're doing now is to preserve who we are and to protect our culture and to protect our life ways and protect our children so that their children and the children that come after them and after them, all the way pushed out for those 7 generations, are having their best life and are continuing in a good way. And so that's that fire that represents the future. At our fire to represent the past, we had our eldest daughter, Lindsay, come forward and sing. And at that, she sang Kanupiam Kisak, which means welcome this day, welcome to this day. And she offered tobacco, which is a way that we give our prayers to the fire. We believe that tobacco is a very heavy, strong medicine, and that by offering that tobacco to the fire, that then our prayers travel up on the smoke, up to Sky World, to the place of our Creator. We then came to the fire of the present, where Sharente offered tobacco at the fire and offered his prayers, and then shared a reading about how he has viewed the love that his parents have had throughout his time, his 17 years with Mama and Papa. And then for the fire of the future, Nikeki came forward. He offered his prayers with the tobacco, and he drummed for us, and he drummed a song, a love song, a round dance style song where we then went around the fire, symbolizing that this marriage would continue. And then at the end of that ceremony, the 3 children came together with Shrente as the lead, singing Ninawan Narragansett. And in that song, the words mean, we are Narragansett, we are strong, and we are proud. And it's an honor song that we sing within our family and within our tribal community. And so that was them honoring their mother and father. And their mother and father walked out together, and they followed behind us.
All my life, and I mean, our people were known for definitely living off the land and making use of all the resources and things around us. But all my life, my mother, we would go on walks and we would go forage for mushrooms. And my mother was, or still is, highly renowned within our tribal community and even outside our tribal community for her mushrooms. And she jars them and she sells them. And she's kind of passed it down for me of all my siblings. None of them like forage it. Well, they will get them, but they'll bring them to my mother's. And if other tribal people find mushrooms out in the world, they usually bring them to my mother. In exchange for them bringing them to her, she will like give them a jar for free, things like that. So she definitely has oftentimes a lot. So since I took on the tradition, there is a pot that was passed down from my grandmother to my mother, and then it is coming to me. So I think that's maybe the one thing I'll give for my mother, the dreadful day when, you know, she moves on from this world. Not wishing for that day, but I'll have her mushroom pan, which is pretty special. I actually borrow the pan whenever I do mushrooms, so we coordinate when we're going to be cooking so that I can utilize that pan too. And really that's all the pan is used for, is cooking mushrooms. But it's pretty special that it was my grandmother's and then passed to my mother.